Hello and welcome back. So today I'm going to see if there's a difference between using a spice grinder and a burr grinder to grind coffee. I'll be using my espresso machine to test this difference. I will be using the same amount of coffee and grinding it as fine as possible. So I found that for the espresso maker it needs between 19 and 21 grams of coffee. Now with the burr grinder there are several settings. So for espresso I will switch from coarse to extra fine. Then I'll load it in the basket and grind away. So cue the waiting music. This burr grinder has a removable grind chamber to catch the grounds after they pass through the blades. It may be hard to see, but the grind is fairly uniform in consistency and is a nice fine grind. For the spice grinder, I'll weigh out the same amount of coffee and grind it for as long as possible to get as fine as possible. There's no setting to differentiate between a coarse and a fine grind, so just holding down the button will determine the coarseness of the grind. Now comparing the two, the burr grinder is much more consistent throughout the grind and is overall finer compared to the spice grinder. But how does it affect the taste of the espresso? Now we will start by adding the grind to the portafilter and then pressing it down the espresso tamper. Now time to attach the portafilter and place the espresso cup underneath it. Now as the shots of espresso pull, we have the spice grinder on the left and the burr grinder on the right. Right off the bat, you can see the spice grinder is lighter in color than the burr grinder, meaning it isn't extracting as much flavor. But the time it takes to pull the shot is nearly identical. So let's get to the taste test. Starting first with the burr grinder, has all the characteristics of espresso, as a thick, rich crema, followed by a roasty body that finishes with a nice heart. Moving over to the spice grinder, there is some crema, but it isn't as rich, and the body tastes more like a strong cup of coffee versus a concentrated shot of espresso that we were looking for. So overall, I would say the burr grinder wins this head-to-head comparison. It's definitely given a better flavor shot of the espresso compared to the spice grinder. But the big thing is the price difference. Typically, a spice grinder can go from anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks, whereas a burr grinder typically costs anywhere from $45 to $200. So in the world of grinding, you're probably only going to ever buy one. So I would say this is worth the upgrade. Again, that brings the conclusion of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you found any of this helpful, let me know down below. If you didn't like it, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, I would appreciate it if you subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.